So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining today's call. During this session, I will walk through the latest changes and improvements in Power Automate Action Browser extension. We have had a set of updates recently, and I will highlight what's new, what is improved, and how these enhancements can make your daily work smoother and faster. So hello, my name is Michał Kornet, and I'm MVP in the Microsoft 365 development category. I work at Accelerator 365, where we are one of the leading vendors of intranet apps in SharePoint store. Please visit my personal blog, michałkornet.com, and Accelerator 365 page to get more info about solutions. So quick summary about the tool. The Power Automate Action Browser extension was originally created in 2023. In the same year, I presented the initial idea during the community call, which helped introduce the concept to the wider audience. Since then, the extension has grown steadily. Today, version 1.0.16 is released, and we have around 1,600 weekly active users. The extension is most popular in Japan, US, and India, which shows that how widely it's adopted across different regions. Now, let's go through the description of new features that have been added since the first release. So the first one is the support for new Power Automate editor. This editor used slightly different internal structure for actions. The mechanism for copying works also differently compared to the classic version. Despite these changes, I implemented a smart solution that allows action to be pasted seamlessly into the new editor as well. The next one is Microsoft Graph integration. Originally, the extension was designed to create a smooth connection between SharePoint and Power Automate, but over time, I noticed growing need to automate the creation of MS Graph actions as well. In Power Automate, MS Graph can be accessed through different connector types, which means different endpoints fall under different connectors. To simplify this, the extension now automatically recognizes which connector should be used when for which request. Another feature focuses on organizing existing recorded actions. Since we can record many actions, I added search bar to quickly filter and find what we need. There is also a favorites tab where you can store your most commonly used actions for faster access. Additionally, action preview of the feature can be very useful when you need to check only a specific part of a request like URL or body. Another important feature in the settings section is settings section. In the past, the extension sometimes struggled to correctly detect the type of the page the user was on. To address this, I added the option to manually override the detection mode. Now you can switch between automatic detection, recording page, classic Power Automate editor, or modern one. Additionally, you can define the maximum recording time in minutes. Another useful feature is ability to export and import favorites. It makes it easy to save your favorites action and use them in another browser instance, for example, when you're switching devices or setting up a new environment. It's also great for team collaboration. You can share predefined templates or a set of the most useful actions with your team, helping everyone stay consistent and speeding up onboarding process for new members. And lastly, side panel option. Previously, the extension could be opened only as a pop-up window, which disappeared as soon as you click outside of it. Now you can also open it as a side panel, which stays visible in a persistent way. This makes it much more convenient to work with, especially when you need to reference or manage actions while continuing to work in Power Automate. So now let's jump into live demo. I will show you how the extension works in practice. So let me switch the browser window. So I will begin from the basic concept, why this tool has been created. So as you may know, under the SharePoint, there are many HTTP requests which are under the hood. So almost every UI action also triggers some HTTP request. So the idea was to catch them and use them in Power Automate. So when we go to the extension, when the recording button is on, then when we refresh the page, you will see already that we are collecting something. And for example, when we have actions like, I don't know, create item, and when we create something new, okay, save and wait a little bit. So this action should be also recorded in our tool. So it's this one. What we can do with this tile, it's we can go to Power Automate and to my clipboard section. Then when we choose this one and when we switch the mode, then we can copy the action. And what is good, we have all information filled in. So site address, method, URI, headers. So some headers are related to browser, so we should clean up it a little bit, and the body. So we can simply use something what is not in the list of actions provided by Power Automate. So what is new? We can do the same with new Power Automate editor. So when I switch the mode to modern, then we can choose again this one, and we can store it into clipboard, and then using this button, we can paste also the action. As I mentioned before, the mechanism of using actions or copying actions in this case, in this editor is a little bit different. So there are two steps more. So one is that we need to change the connection. And the second thing is that the action is wrapped by scope. So to have it cleaner, you need to take it off the scope. Another feature, which I mentioned before, it's connection to MS Graph. So we can also record this kind of actions. So the best example is Graph Explorer. Please remember that you need to be logged in to have the real graph request. So we can again switch to the recording mode, and we can record actions like, for example, get channels of the team. We can get tenant groups. We can get my profile information, and and for example, my messages. So when I come back to the tool, you will see that we have those requests cached to the tool. You can also notice that the icon is a little bit different. It means that we'll use different connectors. So not SharePoint one, but in this case, Teams, Groups, Custom one, and Outlook. So again, what we can do with those actions is that we can come back here. We can choose one of them. Let's take this one. Yeah, let's take this one. Let's put my clipboard. Let's go to my clipboard section, and then we can copy it there. So again, like with the SharePoint action, we have URI, method, content type. It's get, so we don't have body in this case, but if it would be post, then we will have also a body inside. When I go to the app, you can see that it's quite short session, but I already collected a lot of requests. So another feature which I have added, it's favorites. So we can use this icon. We can click this icon to store it into in different tab. So this tab is more persistent way to have actions which are useful for us. So even when I delete all recorded actions, favorites will still there. So it's like a place where I can refer for something useful for me. What we can do with favorites, it's another feature. So we can export them to file. So we have then JSON file, which we can use for, we can, for example, give this list of favorites to someone else. So we can share it within the team, or for example, when I have a new instance of Chrome or the browser, then I can simply import the file, and then I will have these favorites back. What we can do with this file format is that we can store it somewhere. So let's imagine that you have GitHub account, you have your favorites stored here. So then you can go to raw mode of the file. Then you will get the direct link to the file, and then you can pull it here. And when you do it, then you will have these actions downloaded from this file in this section, which is predefined actions. So as you can see, you can store single actions, but also structures. So you can have like a scope in scope or something like this. It can be also copied, and it can be like a little bit like a function, which you can use in Power Automate. So another idea which I have implemented, it's not the actions which you store, but something what I generate. So using this option, load default actions, then you will get the list which I prepared. So now it's quite small, but the idea is to extend it and to make it bigger and bigger, and maybe to fill the gaps which are of the actions which are not existing currently in the Power Automate, but maybe they are useful. Okay, so that's all regarding the changes. So maybe I can switch back to the presentation. Oh, sorry. So here I have big favor for you. So if you have any ideas or requests, or you find any bugs, then you can simply create a issue on the GitHub account of this tool, or you can also ping me on the LinkedIn and give me some advices, or as I mentioned before, ideas what we can add. And lastly, how to get the solution. You can go to the Chrome store, you can write Power Automate Actions Handler, and there you can simply install it from there. Or you can go to my webpage. There are also descriptions how to get it from there. So thank you very much for attention, and giving voice back to Paul. So thank you.